Hello and welcome to this edition of ET Now Hangouts with me, Ankita Saxena. Well, India's coffee market is experiencing an exponential growth owing to the rising consumer demand, a need for bespoke coffee, and the burgeoning cafe culture. And jumping onto the bean wagon is now Naked, a brand that has been co-founded by celebrity influencers Radhika Seth and Meghna Kaur. And today I'm sipping my coffee with Radhika to find out more about their new offering. Hi Radhika, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so glad to be here.
Radhika, so tell us, you have come out with a new offering, a coffee brand called Naked. It's a very interesting name. I'll come to the genesis of the name. But essentially, so you are a content creator who's been, talking about lifestyle, apparel, makeup, and so on. How did coffee come into being? Why coffee?
Honestly, coffee has been such a regular part of my life for a couple of years now. Ever since I was in school, it's the one thing that has stayed with me. No matter what part of the world I'm in, it's something I'm consuming on a daily basis. So as my love for coffee kept growing, and as I kept diving more into how coffee is made, how it's sourced, it just felt like it came very naturally to me. And also beauty and fashion, I feel like as markets are way more saturated than a coffee market, and it just made sense.
So Radhika, Naked is a very interesting name. What is the inspiration or the insight behind the name?
I mean, it caught your eye, right?
Yeah.
Like it gets the attention that it's meant to. And I believe as people, all the co-founders are very come as you are people. We're very unfiltered in the way we are and the way we live our lives. We say whatever comes to our mind. We're very raw, and Naked kind of felt it came very naturally to us as a brand name. And also Naked is literally like a coffee is unfiltered, it's raw, and our brand ethos has always been that everything we put out there, all the information we give to our consumers, everything is as raw and as unfiltered as it gets.
Right. But Radhika, coffee is also a pretty cluttered market now. If you look at there's a lot of competition there. It's not just the global franchises like a Starbucks or a Tim Horton or a Pret coming to India, but also the local cafes, especially in Bombay, that's burgeoning like a Boca or a Bougie, Mokai.
Yeah.
You have a lot of competition there,
Of course,
right?
yeah.
Talk to us about that.
Honestly, it's great. I mean, the more coffee is thriving as an industry, the better it is for all of us. And I feel like there's enough for everyone to take a piece of.
So how many product lines do you have with coffee? How many categories do you have?
We have 9 different estates that we source from.
Okay.
But we have, in terms of product lines, we have we have beans that we sell as whole beans, and then you can on our website select what kind of grind size you want basis your equipment. And then we also have our pour over coffees, which are literally it's our way of giving instant coffee to someone. It's not instant coffee, but it's as easily as you can get specialty coffee ready made at home, especially if you don't have any equipment. So yeah.
Okay, so how is your distribution going to pan out? Right now, you have a website that you're selling through.
Yeah.
Besides that, will you also have an offline distribution, a B2B distribution, and are there any plans to have your own cafe on the anvil? Because that's like the ultimate destination.
Yeah. So we started with selling our products on our website, and we were also lucky enough to get a bunch of B2B orders. So we do supply to some of the biggest hospitality partners in the country already. And we're starting our store-in-store October 15th in Bombay. We're also going to be available at Food Square. So all of that, and we're like a 2-month-old coffee brand. So all of that's already in the pipeline for us.
Right. Also talk to us about your target group. Who are you targeting, and your target markets as well?
Our target market has been 21 to 30-year-olds who are not into the chai culture, who are into fitness, who don't use only alcohol as means to socialize, and who have kind of the pockets to invest in specialty coffee. I think that's literally our target market.
Okay, so you have been into this business of content creation, and that seamlessly builds distribution for you, right? So, is that the most obvious choice for all the influencers to perhaps get into a product line because you would have already built distribution with your audience?
Yeah. Uh, it is easier to kind of get the word out there, definitely,
Yeah.
especially for a content creator. But there's so much more that goes on behind building a brand, that it's not just enough to have the best means of marketing out there. Your product has to be right. What you're selling has to make sense. People have to enjoy your product, love your product. So there's enough thought that needs to go on behind the product before you really jump into the advantages of being a content creator and being able to put your product out there.
Right. So, tell me, what is your vision for Naked? What's your vision, and what's your brand building strategy as well?
Our vision for Naked has literally been to get to build a community of people who focus on themselves, who focus on fitness, who want to meet like-minded people, and who want to go out there and socialize. We don't want to build cafes or scenarios where you're only able to hang out with people basis a drink or two.
Okay, and what is your strategy for brand building? Because, I mean, so to speak, you have built a brand for yourself as well. So, what would be your strategy for both Meghna and you? You both have built a brand for yourselves on social media. What would be your strategy to building a brand? What's the parallel between the two?
Honestly, I think sometimes it becomes a bit hard to separate our own
identity.
identities online from the identity we're trying to build for the brand, because the first obvious idea that would come into our mind for the brand would be so similar to something that we would have for our own selves. And what would work for us personally might not work for the brand as a whole. So I think that's been a bit challenging for us to navigate. But overall, I think we're kind of able to figure out what the consumer really wants, what the audiences like to at least watch online, the kind of messaging that our brand needs to put out there. We've been trying to educate people more on what goes on behind the coffee business. So we don't want our brand to be very fluff, very, oh, it's all glitz and glam, but there's nothing behind it. We're really trying to educate the people out there of how we source our beans, what kind of estates we are with, the kind of relationships we're building. And that's been very, very important for our branding.
Right.